Hello and welcome. Today we are going to work on Parallax background for our game. Also, we are going to install a Cinemachine package and configure the camera. So let's start by installing the package. So first you need to go to the window. Here find Package Manager. You will see this window opened. Then you would need to open Unity Registry and type here Cinemachine. And find this package, click install. It will take some time to download and import required files into the project. So let's wait for a minute. Okay, now package is installed. We can close this and we can create follow camera. So right now we have here our main camera, but to control camera, we're going to use Cinemachine. So click on the empty space and you would see here Cinemachine. So there is the multiple cameras we can create, but what we are interested in targeted cameras, 2D camera, because this is 2D game. And now we have the Cinemachine. So now when I open the main camera, you see that additional component added here called Cinemachine Brake. And we can configure it for camera to follow our player. So there is the tracking target. So I can just take the player and I can move it here. So now let's take the ground and let's make it very, very long. So player could run. So I would type something like 10,000 here. So it's a huge line. And right now I can start the game and camera would follow. But right now it's a bit zoomed out. We can zoom in. So as you see, player is running and camera is following the player. But now let's go to the Cinemachine and let's change the lens to make it a bit closer. Maybe something like this. I think 5.8 would work fine. So that's all for camera right now. Next, we need to create parallax background. So I here prepared the image which we are going to use. A link will be shared in description for the video. So what you need to do is to click download now. Here you click no send, just take me to downloads and download. So it's downloaded. Now we need to unzip and import this to the project. Extract. There is multiple parallax layers, so we will going to use all of them. So we have our images folder. Let me create here additional folder. Let's call it background. Let's take those files and import them into this folder. So in the similar as we did with the other sprites, we need to configure them. So I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to disable filter and disable compression. Now click apply. Right now sprite mode is set to the multiple, but our images is single image. So also I want to change this to the single. And I experimented a bit. I think 12 pixel per unit works fine here. So let me, for example, import this image. I think maybe it's even too big. Maybe we can try 16. It should be a bit smaller, like this. Now, let me delete this. So just for organization, I'm going to create empty object and call it parallax. And then I would add those images on the parallax background. So right now it's not very nice looking because of the layers. So as you see, we see only one image and second one. We don't see this image which is called far tree. It's almost not visible, and mid tree is also not visible because we need to configure the ordering. So here, if you open, let's start from the background. There is the additional setting and there is the sorting layer. Right now it's only default. I can play with order in layer. For example, this can be like 0. Then next would be far trees. I can put it like 5. And mid tree, I can put it like 10. And I can play with those values. Close would be 20. And here we got the background. But it's not the best option. it's like we will use this orders in layer anyway, but right now everything in default layer and it's not very good because it can be hard to manage. So we're going to add two layers. So let's add layer as background, and let's add layer player right now. We would need probably some other layers later, but this should be enough. So first layer is the default. So default is behind the background and background is behind the player. So let's select player. For player, let's select player sorting player, and let's select all of this and set it to the background. But it didn't change much, so we would need to tune order in layer. So background is the farther, so it will have order in layer 0. Then we have far 3. I can type 1, but like I think it makes sense to add 5 just in case we would need to add something like between backgrounds. We would have some additional slots. So for mid trees, I'm going to use 10. And for close trees, I'm going to use 15. So right now we have the background, but also ground is not visible. For now, for ground, I'm going to select the player. So we have it, but when I launch the game and I would start, so player is running, everything looks nice, but here, background and nothing here. So there is two things which we need to address. First is to dynamically change speed of the backgrounds to create like a nice visual effect, like the farthest layer moving slowly, closer layers moving faster. But this can be done through script. So let's create here script. It will be scripting mono behavioral, and let's call it Parallax Manager. And I think it should be double L and probably here too. Let's fix this like this. So now we have the script. We need to add the script to the each of those backgrounds which we have. So I'm going just to select and drag it here. So now every has it. Let's open the script. First, we will do dynamic moving of the background, and then we will create endless background. So in order to do it, we need camera, because based on the camera position, we are going to change position of our background. So let's use private field. It will be, we just need to transform from the camera. We don't need the whole camera, so it will be transform. And let's call it camera transform. But also we need this field to be available from the inspector. So I'm going to add it serialized field. There is no reason to do it public. And another what we need is to parallax factor. It also would be serialized field, but also I'm going to add here range, and we will see what it does in the minute. So range will start from 0 to 1. And this would be also private, float, and call it parallax factor. So this value would set the speed of background scrolling. So now we need to get camera. We have two options. First, we can assign camera from inspector, but if camera is not assigned to inspector, we're just going to take main camera because we can have multiple cameras. So I'm going to add here condition. So if inside, I'm going to check if camera equal to null. I'm going to do assign camera transform to the camera main transform. So it will take main camera and use it as value. So this is in case if we not specify it in true inspector. But if it's specified through inspector, this would never be executed because this condition would return camera would be not null and it will be not true. Also, we need few additional parameters. So first parameter, we don't need to expose it through inspector. So I'm just simply going to use private, and it will be position X, position, it should be lowercase, position X, and another is the image length we need. So I would call it length. And X is the position from which where image would be located. And in start, we can retrieve initial position. So where is image uh, placed right now? So I have position X equal to transform position X. So let's go to the editor and I will show you. So we have all of these images, and it's going to take this position X where image is located right now. So right now it's something like -9. All of them is -9, but I think it's you can set everything to the 0. 0, 0, and let's do this for everything. So at first, this position X would be set as 0. Also, we can retrieve length of the image using a sprite renderer component. So it automatically tells me I can do get component and component sprite renderer, And from here, I don't interested in every parameter of this component. I'm just interested in X size. And we would also use this later to identify when image need to be repeated. But let's do parallax first. So now we have our initial setup. We start moving our background. So what I'm going to do is I need to calculate distance, how much background need to be moved. And to do that, I'm going to use camera position X. So I'm going to take existing position of the camera. But if I will simply use existing position of the camera, background would move with the speed of the camera. But I don't want to do that. I want further layers to move slowly than camera, for example. So I'm multiplying this to the parallax layer. So for example, if I have parallax factor set to the 0, there will be like no movement at all. But if it be like 1, it will move with the speed of the camera. And now we need to do movement itself. So we can do transform dot position. So to change the transform dot position, and I'm going to assign new vectors 3 here. And what I'm going to do. So first I'm starting with the position X. That's where this image is located. And I'm going to add to this position distance where it needs to be moved. And let's keep, we don't want to change Y and Z coordinates. So for example, right now, initial position X is set to 0. So here it will be 0. And it will be moved with the same like by this distance which we calculated. So camera moved by 1, it will be multiplied by parallax factor, and it will move to this position from the 0. And we can start the game and see if it work or not. But before, we need to tune parallax factor. So here we have camera transform. So I can take my camera and I can drag it here, or I can just keep it as it is. Main camera would be used anyway, but let's drag it everywhere. And now we need to change parallax factor. So this background is just simply one color, and I don't want to move anything, so I'm keeping this to this as a 0. Then far 3, let's make it something like 0.5. Close 3, I'm sorry, mid 3, we need to move a bit faster. And for close 3, it will be the fastest. So right now we have this configured. Let's run the game. Let's start and see if parallax background is working as expected. So game started, and as you may see, it's moving. We have a bit jittering, but we will fix this. But as you see, background is moving. This is not moving at all. This moving slowly. This like faster, faster, and the fastest. But still, after some time, we reach the end of our background and like no background. So now we need somehow to repeat. How can we do it? We need to create duplicates of every of those backgrounds. We need 3 of them. So I'm going to create 2 duplicates and I'm going to move it under this. Let's move this one. Let's move this one. And let's move this one. Also, we need to take every of them and remove the script because script need to be only on the root component. And now we need to change them. How to change? So we need to put one on the left and one to the right. I know that the background has 30, so I think I can do 30 and minus 30. And let's check, let's open those images. I cannot see right here. Okay, so we need to know, because we need to know exact lengths, because if we choose the wrong length, we will have some jittering, and it will not looks good. So what can I do? I can go here and I'm going to use debug.log to print the lengths of the image. And I think all of them are the same lengths except the background. So let's start the game. And here in the console, I should see the image. So it was 30 for background and 37 for everything else. So that's what we are going to do. Let's change this to the 37 and this to the minus 37. Same here, 37 and minus 37. And let's do for final 37 and minus 37. So right now we have this, which is much longer, but once I start the game, like it will work in the same way. So nothing happening, I can run. But I think I messed up something with the background because I see that it's moving not with the one speed. Okay, so let's stop the game. Now we need change that background never end. So how we're going to do? We're going to flip. So for example, we have this, right? So player is running, but once we reach this, it will moving everything. So let's take, for example, this one middle. It will be moved like here. It's a bad example. So this will be moved here and there and there and there, and it will repeat over and over again. How can we do it? We need to change X position every time when we need to switch, because right now X position is 0 from the beginning, and we just increasing this position based on the camera movement. But at some point we want to update this X position to move image to the new location. How can we do it? We need to calculate this delta, how much camera has moved from the starting point, but also we need to take into consideration parallax factor. So we're going to use camera transform position delta x, and we're going to multiply, but this time not on the parallax, but we need to take -1 parallax factor. So now once we have this delta, we need to create condition to check. So if delta is bigger than x position x, plus length, we need to update position x to be equal, not update, but add length. And in our game is not really the case because we are not going to move left, but like wish we can add also another condition to move image left. So let's do the same, delta less than x position x minus length. We go in to do minus length. Minus length. So what do we have right now? So for example, it's moving, we calculating this delta, and after time when this delta is higher than position and plus length. So in our case, it will be like 0 from the beginning plus 37. So once this camera moved farther than this position, we're going to change position X. So let's see how it works in the game. Let's start the game and let's run. And I think I can increase player speed. Where is the player? Player speed 15. So player is moving. There is some jittering which we need to solve, but as you can see, images are jumping in front of the player and background never change. And I think to solve this jittering, we need to change this update to the late update. Let's see if this will fix. Late update is executed after update, and like is late update better to use with manipulation with camera. So yeah, as you see, when I started the game, but there is still some jittering happening, so we need to take a look into this one also. But let's figure out why it's moving not in the right order. So first we have this background. Maybe I lie to you, and parallax factor need to be set for the 0. This is a bad example at all. Let's reverse it just to see if this will make it better. So I would expect first layer to move. Yeah. So first layer is the fastest. And why? Okay. So then for here, I'm going to use 1. For close tree, far tree, I'm going to use dot 2. For mid trees, I'm going to use dot 5. And close tree, I'm going to use dot 7. I think this should be fine if I didn't mess up it again. Let's run. No, I think I did it run again. Okay, so here is the values which I'm using. So background has parallax factor set to the 0. Closest tree has the lowest parallax factor set to 0.2. Far tree has 0.7. Mid tree has 0.5. And now when I run the game, it works fine. So this moved the fastest and everything else moves slower. But also we have some jittering. We need to figure out what is wrong. And I think we can enable that zone. This is another feature of Cinemachine. So you see we have this square. This camera really following not our player, but this dot and this area in which dot can move, and movement once a camera won't move. So it will start moving only once dot move out of this square. So let's move player, and let's move player somewhere more at the beginning of the game, not to start in the middle, something like this, not like this. And so this is enabled. We can start the game, and this jittering should go away. So yeah, player is moving, no jittering. But also player right now is located in the middle of the screen. I think it's better to move it a bit left. So here we have in the composition, screen position, I think we can move player like here. So it will be more from the left side. Let's start the game again. And no jittering, everything looks fine. So that's all for today's video. Thank you and have a nice day.